Namaskar students, welcome again to Essential Electricals. In today's lecture, we are going to study about choice of insulator. So the topic of discussion is what are the different types of insulator and what is the properties of insulator. So as we know that in power system, your generation, transmission and distribution, the insulator has some importance because insulator has a very wide scope since from the beginning of the power generation. So, an electrical insulator is a material whose internal electric charges do not flow freely. It means very little electric current will flow through it under the influence of electrical field. So, when we talk about perfect insulator, it does not exist because even insulator contain a very small number of molecule, or we can say the carrier charges, which can help to flow the current. Now, in addition, all insulators becomes electrically conductive when a sufficiently large amount of voltage is applied. Okay, because of that, the electric field tear the electrons away from the atoms, and this is known as the breakdown voltage of any kind of insulator. So, if we talk about the material, so generally glass, paper, Teflon, which has high resistivity, are good for the electrical insulator. Okay, so this is that what is insulator, what is the definition of insulator, what are the material we can use as an insulator. Here you can see in the figure that we have shown that a strain insulator which is connected in a transmission system. Here you can find the pole and the guy wire, okay, or we can say the guy insulator. So we will come to this later. What is strain insulator, what is guy insulator, okay. So because in type of insulator we are going to study the strain insulator, shackle insulator, okay, pin type insulator, suspension type insulator, all these things. So this is achieved by securing your line conductor to support with the help of your insulator. So we are doing your ground and your conductor is insulated by insulator. Okay. Now when we talk about the desirable properties of insulator, it can be followed by this. The first, it should have high mechanical strength. Why? Because insulator should have high mechanical strength because it has to carry the weight of the conductor, and we know that ACSR conductor is having aluminum conductor steel reinforced, which is a very heavy kind of conductor. Okay, so it should have to carry a very heavy conductor, okay, or weight of the conductor, and also it has to withstand the force due to wind and also the storm, because in some condition there is a wind, heavy wind flow, okay, there will be some snowfall there. In that case your weight of the conductor will going to be increased. In that case your insulator should be capable of having high mechanical strength. The second point is good dielectric strength. Now high voltage conductor is placed on the insulator, that we know, okay. It can be pin type or it can be suspension type, it can be shackle type, any kind of insulator. So the material experience high dielectric stress. Why? Because your dielectric strength of insulating material should be good enough so it can be withstand these stresses. Okay, because one of your end is connected with high voltage and one of your end is connected with ground potential. So stress between your insulator's terminal will be very high. Okay, so if the dielectric stress is less, in that case your insulator gets punctured. Okay. The third is high resistance to earth. So a conductor is at high potential, obviously, and there are a possibility of leakage from the surface of the insulator to the ground, and basically the resistivity of material should be high. Okay, so the resistance of your insulator should be as high as possible and there should be no any leakage current. So to increase the resistance of the leakage path, we always notice that the shape of the insulator will be, we can say, it is not going to be very straightforward, okay, it will be complex. So that is why the shape of insulator is something like that it is, because we are going to increase the resistance of your insulator, or we can say high resistance to earth. The fourth property is high factor of safety. Now what is factor of safety? So first question is, what is factor of safety? So factor of safety is nothing but it is the ratio of puncture voltage divided by flash over strength. Okay, again, factor of safety is puncture voltage divided by flash over voltage. Okay, that is called factor of safety. So this factor should be as high as possible. When I say factor of safety is as high as possible, it means that your puncture voltage should be as high as possible and your flashover strength should be as low as possible. Okay, now flashover strength is not in our hand, but puncture voltage is in our hand, so we can control by designing some kind of insulator in such a way that puncture does not happen. Okay, so this is all about the factor of safety. The fifth is non-porosity. So the material which is going to be used as insulator should be non-porous. Otherwise the moisture, or we can say the water, will be absorbed by your insulator, and that is not going to be helpful for us because it will cause the dielectric strength will be reduced. Okay, so your material should be non-porous. And the last is ability to withstand the changes in temperature. So again, as the insulator is subjected to different temperatures, in that case your material should be such that it can withstand the changes in temperature. So these are the properties that your insulator should possess in case of transmission system. Okay, it can be high voltage, it can be EHV, UHV transmission system. This should be the properties of your insulator. Now let us discuss what are the material which we are going to use in case of insulator that possess these certain properties. Okay, so the first is porcelain. Now porcelain is used for making the insulator for overhead transmission line. So when the we talk about what is porcelain, so it is nothing but the mixture of kaolin, quartz and feldspar is taken in certain proportion, and it is going to be heated to high temperature, and the resulting material which is known as a porcelain. If we talk about the dielectric strength of porcelain, it is 65 kilovolt per centimeter, and its compressive strength is more than its tensile strength, because the ultimate tensile strength and the ultimate compressive strength, here I have made one mistake, that is compressive strength, and its tensile strength is 16,000 kilogram per centimeter square and 400 kilogram per centimeter square respectively. Okay, so if you see that your compressive strength is far greater than your tensile strength. Okay, just make sure that in place of tensile there will be compressive strength. So a porcelain can be used for the insulation in case of your overhead transmission system. Porcelain possesses all the properties that we have mentioned in previous slides, so it is widely used to insulator in case of overhead transmission system. Okay, the second material that we are going to discuss is glass. So a glass can also be used for making the insulator, but the only negative point is the limitation, we can say, is difficult to cast when the shape is irregular. Okay, so a molded toughened glass is generally used. So its dielectric strength is somewhere around 140 kilovolt per centimeter, and if we compare this dielectric strength of glass with porcelain, obviously this is very high. Okay, but in glass cracks are developed due to the changes in temperature. Okay, and these cracks, we can say, actually it is easily detected by, because our glass is going to be transparent. Okay, and also the next advantage is glass is cheaper than porcelain, so the moisture easily condenses over its surface to dust, and it is accumulated over it because it causes the leakage current and result into the fault. So yeah, there are certain advantages of using glass as a insulator, but there are so many disadvantages also. Okay, the next, or we can say the last material, which is steatite. So it is also known as a magnesium steatite or the magnesium silicate. If we talk about the tensile strength, which is very high compared to that of porcelain, and that is why it is used for strain type of insulator. Okay, because its tensile strength is very much high. So these are three materials which are generally used for the insulator in case of a transmission system. Now, if we talk about the types of insulator which are employed for the overhead transmission system, or we can say the distribution systems, are generally pin type insulator, suspension type insulator, the third is strain type insulator, and the fourth is shackle type insulator. So these are the four major which are insulator which are generally used in a transmission system. So in next lecture we are going to study each and every insulator in detail, that how the voltage level will be there in case of all four kind of insulator, and what are the special application of this insulators. Okay, so we are concluding our lecture today. In next lecture we will discuss this all insulators in detail. Okay, so again, if you like this video or if you feel that this content is relevant to you, you can subscribe my channel and press the bell icon so you can get the notification of my every video. Thank you so much. See you guys next time.